I believe both of you are opposed to amnesty for those who are in this country illegally. But would you favor a new pathway to legal status for them that would allow them to stay in the country yet not be on the fast track to citizenship? And the second part of this question is, let's talk about legal immigration for just a moment. Are there any circumstances under which you would vote to increase legal immigration and guest worker programs?
One of the things, Joe, that we need to do, and I know that both you and Randy have studied this, as many in our audience have. I know D.A. King is here this evening and has studied this and advocates very strongly and very eloquently for meaningful, real strict enforcement of our immigration laws. There is no way that we need or that I would ever support a new pathway to citizenship. I mean, it's a non-starter or a non sequitur. There is a pathway to citizenship. It's laid out in the law based on the constitutional power of the federal government over immigration and the criteria for citizenship. What we do need, and in talking with businesses not only all across the 11th District through our Small Business Advisory Council, but businesses all across Georgia and even elsewhere in the country, as I've had the opportunity to do in recent years, they say it is ridiculous to be operating businesses in the 21st century with immigration laws that relate to lawful work permitting and visas that were crafted in the 1980s. So Congress has a responsibility that it has repeatedly failed to live up to revise and modernize and bring those immigration, work permitting, and visa laws and regulations to meet the criteria, the business needs of businesses here in the 21st century. And that has nothing to do with the underlying and fundamentally essential proposition to secure our border. And it has nothing to do, and should have nothing to do, with citizenship. But to make very clear, I would not favor any amnesty or any new pathway to citizenship, however you sugarcoat it, however you say it, whatever language you say it in.
Well, this has been one of the areas that I have been very, very consistent in during my time period in the state legislature as co-author and supporter of many pieces of legislation to ensure that taxpayer dollars do not go in any way, shape, form, or fashion to support those that are illegally here in this nation. Your question about permanent legal status, there's a very dangerous bill that Congress has been considering, which is called the Enlist Act. Now, the Enlist Act changes a long-standing rule or law that we've had in this country, which is during times of war, someone who already has permanent legal status, not here illegally, but permanent legal status, but is not a citizen of the United States, can enter into the armed forces. And if they complete their enlistment period and they get an honorable discharge, then they can seek a pathway to citizenship. What the Enlist Act would do would allow those that are illegally here to go into the military, which would give them a default fast track to permanent legal status, which would give them a pathway to citizenship. This is a backdoor way of providing a fast track or a backdoor path to citizenship, and we must stop the Enlist Act as well. We have to, that's one of the things when you're dealing with legislation, you just can't always look at what is that talking point of the day or what is that news item of the day. You have to look deep, you have to read every piece of legislation. I have been clear, crystal clear, that I oppose any pathway to citizenship. We have to secure the borders. I have been consistent on that. We should not have open borders and let anybody just come into this nation just because they go through a secure checkpoint. We also must ensure that we reform our immigration system and enforce the laws that we have on the book. It always amazes me where legislatures decide, well, we need a new law when we're not even enforcing the laws on the book. Secure the border, enforce the laws we have on the book, and fix a broken legal immigration system before we try to tackle anything else.